everybody, I'm Lan with GreenLanGrow. So recently, I've been trying to start a new educational garden series where I will show you and tell you what I learned from my gardening. And this is episode 1 of season 1 of our series. Remember in 2023, February, I released my very first video. And I mentioned that I like to use my own seeding mix and I would show you how to make it when I get a chance. Well, guess what? The time has come. So over here, I've got some old seeding mix right here inside. But this isn't nearly enough for all the plants I'm gonna grow. So I need to make new seedling mix. And I decided this is the perfect opportunity to show you guys how I like to make my own mix. Let's take a look at what I put in my seedling mix. So over here, this is peat moss, which is the main component of my seedling mix. It is very soft and gentle on the seedling's roots, but there are a few problems with it. One is that it doesn't absorb water very well and it sort of repels it, which isn't that great. And another one is it doesn't have much nutrients. So this worm castings will solve the nutrients problems. Although seedlings don't need that many nutrients, this one will give it a little boost to help it grow even taller and stronger and produce yummy tomatoes or cucumbers or whatever I'm growing. So this is for nutrients. Earthworm castings is worm poop, actually. And next one. Here is perlite. So perlite is here. It will help with aeration. It will aerate the soil and help with water drainage so that our plants don't get root rot. Next one is gonna be vermiculite. Vermiculite is a naturally occurring mineral made of little shiny flakes. See? It's actually very shiny. And it keeps the nutrients released by the worm castings kept in these little sponge. There's actually stacked flakes, so they're like a sponge if you look at it very carefully. So they absorb water and the nutrient-filled water. Because when you water the plants, these worm castings will release the nutrients into the water and the vermiculite will soak it all up, which will allow your plants to get a nice drink of nutrient water every single day. I love using these 4 ingredients because they come together to provide a perfect balance of air, moisture, and nutrients. I also really like vermiculite. It's a little sponge. Okay. Now, before I mix these 4 magical ingredients together, I like to put boiling hot water on top of them to kill any gnat or spider eggs. Let me go get the hot water right now. Oh, I'm back. Here we go. I think of this as a quasi-sterilization process. It doesn't kill all the gnats or spider eggs, but it kills enough to make the mixture less gnat prone. Who doesn't hate those pesky gnats swarming around in your plants and gardens? Shoo! Out of here! Out of here! Time to mix it together. It's also good to add the water because the vermiculite, the perlite, and the peat moss, they all have these fine particles of dust which might get into your lungs, and it's always good to keep lungs safe, so the water helps calm it down a bit. I also think of this potting mix process as like a cooking because I like to cook food. So I always think of it, you get the ingredients, you add hot water, you mix it together, and then you get your potting mix. Okay. Believe it or not, I've been mixing for a good 5 minutes already. But look at this seedling mix. It looks so good. My baby little plants will have such a good time chilling in here until they get transplanted. Now I'm gonna transfer this seedling mix into here. And then after it's mixed up in here, I'm gonna put in another pot of boiling hot water to kill on any last gnats. And I'm also gonna do that so that it keeps the mixture nice and moist for a perfect environment for my baby seedlings. While I was pouring it in here, I noticed a few dead spots. So I'm gonna have to mix it all up together. Remember, you do not want to have a dead spot where it's just purely perlite, vermiculite, or peat moss, because then you won't have a perfect environment for your little seedlings. Do I look like I'm making some sort of stir-fried dirt right here? Gotta mix it all together, and I think now it should be ready. No more dead spots. I'm pouring in the last bit of soil. Here we go. Look how wonderful this looks. the most wonderful and delicious stir-fried dirt. My young god back. Even though it is really tough to mix up all the seedling mix, and in fact, gardening in general is pretty tough, but I really think it's rewarding when you get to eat the fruit of your own labor. Time for our last pour of boiling hot water. This will kill off any remaining gnat, and it's always better to use pre-moistened soil than having to re-moisten the soil once you already took it out. Put it in your own seedlings. Wow, look, all the perlite floated to the top because it's so light. The water was at it. Let's give it a quick stir. Okay, I will not comment on how this metal spoon bent. Here we go. Looks good. Now we're going to quickly cover it on top with the lid. To make sure it stays warm. Once it cools down, you can use it and you have some moist, nice potting mix. That would be wonderful for your seedling. Here's my tip of the day. It's always easier to pre-moisten your seedling mix and then put the seeds in compared to having to hydrate it 100% after your seeds are put in dry soil. I hope you found my first episode of my 2024 educational series helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Until next time, happy gardening!